broilers or croilers? Which of the two types of birds should you be doing? Well, in today's video, I'm going to be tackling just that. Now, I personally, as you might already know, don't do either. I don't do broilers on the farm. I don't do croilers on the farm. I've done both of them before on a smaller scale, but I haven't concentrated on either. I do know and deal with a lot of farmers though who do one or both or either of them. But in today's video, I want to be sharing with you which of them actually is the better alternative. And I'm going to be rating it based on 6 parameters. Number 1 is the price. Number 2, the technical expertise required to raise them. Number 3, the risk. Number 4, marketing. Number 5, the profit you get from the project. And then finally, number 6, the potential for growth. So if you're one of them and you're considering starting either of them and you're still not certain, or you're probably doing one of them but you're contemplating doing the other or contemplating doing both, and you really just want to make a decision, you're in the right place. So stick around until the end of the video. Hopefully by the end of this video, you're going to have made up your mind perfectly. Now, in case you don't know who the hell I am, I'm Dr. Daniel, a retired medical doctor who is very passionate about farming. I mean, I used to be a doctor and I used to, go in the hospital and work on patients. But after a while, I noticed I actually do love more right now, and that is farming. So I do chicken farming, I do goats, cattle, sheep. I also do rabbits. I also do grow a few crops, not like the main thing, but I do. And I share a lot of this and this story and this growth on this YouTube channel. So if you're one of those people who wants to learn and grow in this realm, then you're in the right place. Come on, just hit the subscribe button, smash the notification bell, that way you never miss out any new upload that I share right here. So come on, let's jump right into the video. So before we go into the different parameters of each one of them, what are broilers and what are croilers? Now, I'm saying croilers because it's the most common type of dual-purpose chickens, but in all honesty, we're going to be talking about dual-purpose chickens right here. Yeah, in my country and in a lot of countries around, I believe the croiler bird is a dual-purpose bird that comes from India, originally bred from India, but it has made its way to very many parts of the world, and it has built a reputation as being a very beautiful hardy bird. Yeah, it's a dual-purpose bird. What that means is that you can breed it or raise it for the purpose of meat, and you can also raise it for the purpose of eggs. Yeah, now it's not prolific at either, I mean, in all honesty. So in terms of egg production, it will probably give you between 160 and 250 eggs, depending on the exact breed. Now we're talking about dual-purpose, by the way, guys. Depending on the exact breed of the dual-purpose birds, you'll get anything between 160 and 250 eggs. If you're doing them for the purpose of meat production, you will get about maybe 2.5 kilograms by the 12th week. Yeah, that's really good. But compared to broilers, for example, broilers give you 2.5 kilograms in 6 weeks, 5-6 weeks, compared to the 12 weeks that it's going to take for the dual-purpose birds. Yeah, so dual-purpose birds are great, but broilers on the other side are birds that are bred specifically for purposes of meat. Yeah, so these birds usually get sold at about anything between the 4th and the 6th week, commonly these days. So in the 4th week, they'll probably be at about 1.3 kilos, 1.4 kilos. By the 6th week, they're at like 2-point-something kilos. So their weight gain is like really, really prolific. It's like crazy, honestly, just to think about it. Just to think that you can get a chicken to over 2 kilograms, 2.5 kilograms in just 6 weeks, it's really crazy. Yeah. So if you want to choose between these 2 different types of chickens, how do you choose? How do you even choose? Well, we'll start off with the price. Yeah, so when it does come to the price involves quite a number of things. It involves the price of purchasing the bird itself and the price of raising the birds. Yeah, so in terms of absolute price of purchasing the birds, broilers take the tick because they are way cheaper compared to dual-purpose birds. For me, in my country, dual-purpose chickens will cost you about 75 cents or something like that, a bit less than $1. And then broilers will be closer to maybe 60 cents. Yeah, so broilers are significantly cheaper compared to the dual-purpose chickens. And in addition to that, even the cost of raising them, if you want to reach a particular weight, let's say 2.5 kilograms, yeah, the broilers are going to do it in much less time, which is 6 weeks, compared to the dual-purpose birds, which are going to do it in 12 weeks. So, and that means that for the extra 6 weeks that you're using for the dual-purpose birds, they're going to be eating food. So generally, it just means that it's way more expensive to raise the dual-purpose birds, to get to that point. So in terms of simply the price and the cost of raising them, the broilers take the win. They're much cheaper. Then we'll move into the technical expertise. Now, when it does move to technical expertise, we now talk about what exactly you're raising your birds for. Yeah. So if you're raising your dual-purpose birds for the goal of meat production, then literally you're going to raise them almost like broilers. Yeah, I would say almost, not exactly, because you're going to keep them for much longer. So you have a bit more things to deal with. I mean, you have the possibility of dealing with things like pecking, because your birds are going to grow up 2 months, 3 months, and those are dangerous times where the birds could peck. So maybe sometimes you might need to debake them, or you might need to space them a little bit more to make sure that you don't go through such things. But generally, it's going to be the same. Yeah. Now, if you're raising your dual-purpose birds for the sake of production of eggs, then then you're going to do way more things. You're going to have to put patches inside your chicken house. You're going to have to put laying boxes inside your chicken house. You're going to have to put way more things inside your chicken house. So the technical expertise, generally, in terms of which ones are easier to raise, again, it's going to lie a bit more on the side of broilers. Now, that I would take with a pinch of salt, because the other bit of ease is the risk, which is point number 3. Yeah. Now, risk is something that can be weighed in different ways. Yeah. You can weigh it in terms of the cost, as of, in case I do lose my money, which of these ones is more likely to have me recover quicker? Certainly it's the broilers, because you're going to keep your chickens for a much shorter time. If, for example, you have an attack of Newcastle disease, you're already investing much less in the broilers, number one, but also you're keeping them, or you expect to keep them for a much shorter time. So recovery is more likely. I mean, it's easier with the broilers, yeah? But on the other side, you have the fact that generally dual-purpose birds are considered to be a bit more hardy birds, yeah? Whether it's KUROILERS or, the rainbow rooster or any other dual-purpose birds that you're going to be keeping, they're considered to be a bit more hardy birds, stronger, something like that. So what that means is that, you expect a bit less problems, yeah? But, all this lies in theory. In terms of practicality and what I've seen when it does come to raising the birds, I mean, even these birds, the ones that are considered to be a bit more hardy, will get diseases, they'll get sick, they'll get attacks from diseases and all this kind of stuff. So I'll take that with a pinch of salt. But in terms of risk, from experience and from, what I have seen, your risk is much lower in the broilers compared to the layers. Point number 4, which is marketing, yeah? Now, when it does reach market, you're going to be dealing with either broiler meat or dual-purpose meat, yeah? So let's just compare those two first. If you're dealing with those, then it depends on the market that you're in, yeah? So if you're in a proper urban market, I mean, broiler meat is way softer, I mean, way easier to chew on, way more tender and something like that. So if you're in a market that likes fast food and things like that, broiler meat is going to be quicker and easier to sell. If you're in a more traditional setting, I mean, for me here in Uganda, most people prefer, the hard meat. They want to bite it and feel like, they're still living in those days where they used to hunt and they get the animal and literally just chew it, yeah? So they want to feel that. I think it makes them feel more human, yeah? And if you're in such a setting, I mean, it's going to be difficult for you to sell the broilers, yeah? I know that because I've personally experienced in some areas, people just don't eat broiler meat. Even I personally, if I'm eating like food for stew, if I'm not going to be doing barbecue, and you give me stew and it's broiler, I won't eat it. It's like tasteless. It's like, yeah, I just don't like it, yeah? So it really depends on like the market that you're dealing with. Some markets will prefer the broiler meat, some markets will prefer the dual-purpose meat. So you need to weigh that based on where your farm is located and who you're expecting to serve. So yeah, when it does come to the market, I'm not going to give either a tick. That is going to be based on you to judge based on your circumstances. Next up is the profits, yeah? So which of them is more profitable? Well, again, this is going to be quite complicated. Again, it's going to depend on the market. The market that prefers the harder meat is usually more willing to pay a higher price per kilogram of the dual-purpose birds, because it takes you much longer to raise the birds and get them to, to that weight. You're going to have to feed them more. You're going to have to give them more vaccines and things like that. They're usually more willing to, pay a higher price, yeah? The broilers on the other side, you're going to keep them for a much shorter time, but also a lot of people raise them. The competition is certainly much higher because a lot of people do them. And it's also profitable. So in terms of absolute profit per like kilogram of the meat, well, it's quite hard for me to judge. But I think, honestly speaking, depending on the market that you would be in, I would give it to the dual-purpose birds. Now, of course, the dual-purpose birds have that advantage, which is on the profit margin, but then they also have a disadvantage. And that disadvantage is on the next point, which is your ability to grow and scale. So it's different for you, for example, to be able to get profits on one bird. But I mean, you're not going to become rich off one bird. If you want to become rich, you're probably going to have to raise 5,000 birds, 10,000 birds. Now that's where the problem comes in, yeah? Getting a market and a very ready market for very many dual-purpose birds is a problem. a very big problem, yeah? Broilers, on the other side, you could do 20,000 broilers every 2 weeks and you'll still get market. If you can, like, you know, put in the hard work and look for the market and work towards getting the market, you could do 20,000 broilers every other week or every 2 weeks and still get market. I won't say the same when it does come to the dual-purpose chickens, yeah? I can't even tell you or guarantee you that you'll sell 1,000 dual-purpose chickens every 2 weeks. I can't guarantee you that, yeah? So in terms of the sheer ability for you to expand the farm and grow the farm, I 100% directed to the side of broilers, yeah? They are way, you know, easier to do as a business model. They are way more likely for you to expand and grow and get a bigger farm, yeah? So I believe you guys have like gotten a very good weighing point here. And I mean, in the end, it's all up to you to make the decision. If I had to do one of them, 100%, I would do the broilers over the dual-purpose ones, simply because of the last point. I believe all the other points are something that, you know, you can move around, yeah? But even when it does come to profit can become big if you do big quantities, yeah? So despite the fact that the dual-purpose birds have bigger margins, the broilers, because you can do them in much larger numbers, can compensate for that, yeah? And for me, I want to do things in big numbers. I mean, if I can't do it in big numbers, then it's a waste of time, yeah? It's completely a waste of time. If I can't make huge money out of it, then it's a waste of time. So it doesn't make sense for me to waste all my effort and put all my effort in raising 500 dual-purpose birds. I mean, for some people, it's okay. If you're starting and you feel like you only want to stay at 200 or 300 dual-purpose birds, or 200 chickens or 300 chickens, then dual-purpose birds are a good idea. But if you want to scale up, do 10,000, 20, 30,000, it's going to be really difficult for you to do that with dual-purpose chickens. And honestly, broilers are certainly a way more scalable option and something that I would advise you to go for, yeah? I hope you guys have enjoyed the video and you've picked up, you know, a few things. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below. I'll try to answer them. Catch you very soon with another video. Lots of love. Bye.